Sorry, I didn't quite see you there. I was quite engrossed in this book. G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Kishan and I'm a 25-year-old chartered accountant living in Sydney. Today we're doing something a little bit different in that we are reviewing Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. Now, this is the first book review in the book club that we are doing, and it's really exciting to be doing a different type of video. I still believe that it's in the personal development space, as I think reading does help you grow in that you acquire new knowledge, new perspectives, and it's enjoyable. It's a really cool habit, and I'm glad that I've gotten back into it over the last few years. Without further ado though, let's get into the review of the book. So right off the bat, I've given this book a rating of 4 out of 5 based on 4 criteria, which we will discuss later onwards. And so my recommendation is I think this is a pretty good book, quite an easy read, and I would highly recommend it because I find myself really enjoying the book and really wanting to get through it and finish the book. So this book is a type of autobiography or a type of memoir that Matthew has written, and it's actually compiled through a set of journal entries or diary entries that he's had over 50 years of him living. So he's gotten time to sit down and put those together and put it through this book. And the premise of this book is green lights. What he's talking about when he's talking about green lights is it's an affirmation which is setting you up for success. Now, he refers to these green lights as either decisions that you take which results in some form of green light, or something that's bestowed upon us which also results in some form of green light. My interpretation was probably a little bit different to it. And I thought, honestly, even once I'd gone through the book, I thought the representation of green lights was a little bit all over the place, sort of had differing meanings. And honestly, I couldn't really fully gather where Matthew was fully going with it. Like, I got the general gist of it, but it seemed a bit wishy-washy. But my understanding or my premise of the book is that the sweet moments in life, those very cherishable times where you just feel, on cloud 9, it's a very, very nice place to be. But I say that the book wasn't so great and interesting because of these green lights premise. To be very honest with you, I thought the book was really, really good because of the interesting stories that Matthew talks about, these different adventures that he goes on, these different places, the different events that transpire throughout his life. And it really is quite fascinating, and it allows you to gather a few new perspectives throughout the book. But just a little bit of honesty here, I'm a huge fan of Matthew McConaughey generally, so I'm slightly biased because I do think he's got the natural charisma and is a really good actor.
To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
And the most important thing, the thing that I really like about him is he's a very good storyteller, an interesting feature that I am a fan of. And I must say that it is captured in this book very well. Now, to actually get to the rating and how I did rate this, I told you that it was a rating based on 4 criteria. The 4 criteria is the ease of read, the actual content, whether there were any takeaways from the book, and the overall feel of the book. And to get right into it, we go to the first point of the ease of reading this book. I must say, for those of you who probably don't read as often, or even those very avid readers, it's a very easy book to read. It's not that challenging. The vocabulary is not too it's not too difficult. It's very easy. You pick it up off the shelf, you read it, it all makes sense. It's not that hard. And it's not a very long book. And for that reason, I've given it a 5 out of 5 when I rated the overall ease of reading this book. Now, for the content in the book, I've given it a rating of 4 out of 5. And the reason being is because it's a very digestible, it's a consumable book, and it's filled with really interesting stories. Like, honestly, every time I was reading it, I was like, whoa, like, what's gonna happen next in this guy's life? And when he's actually like journaling it in his diaries, I'm like, this is great that you've captured so much throughout your life through diary. And I thought it was really, really cool. So the content in there, in my opinion, was very, very cool to read about, very interesting, different events. And I think it was very worth the 4 out of 5 rating that I give it. Now, the first excerpt in the book is talking about a time when his brother had grown out his hair quite long and the coach of the football team wanted him to cut it. And his dad was suggesting, make sure you cut it because I want you to stay on the team. To which, this is what happens. And so Mike is his brother and his pop's saying, now son, listen to me now, quit being stubborn and just cut your damn hair. Indignant, Mike said, no sir, Dad, I'm not going to do it. Son, I'm just telling you. Well, Jesus had long hair too, Mike blurted. Quiet. Playing the religious card was a crafty move, and Mike knew it might have sealed the deal in his favor. Dad, in silence, just continued to drive. Just as they were about to arrive at the school entrance, Mike, believing his Jesus tactic had worked, Dad hit the gas and sped by. What the hell are you doing, Dad? Mike asked. Dad proceeded to drive 8 miles past Mike's school, not saying a word. Suddenly, he pulled off to the side of the road, leaned over and opened the passenger door, pushed my brother out the door and said, yeah, well, Jesus walked everywhere too, boy. I just thought that was a brilliant line. It was good. I enjoyed that bit. In terms of takeaways from the book, I've given it a rating of 2 out of 5. That is quite low, and I have to be honest with you, like, even after I finished the book, yeah, I gained a few different perspectives. I thought about the book life a little bit differently, but honestly, I don't think I took away a hell of a lot from the book. It was more of a really easy read. Content was interesting, like I said, so I didn't feel that I was going away like it really changed my mind or broadened my horizons to the extremes. I thought there wasn't that many takeaways from the book. So for that reason, I've given it a rating of 2 out of 5. Now, coming to the overall feel, what I mean here is, how did the book really make me feel when I was reading through it, objectively? What did I actually think? And like I said at the beginning, it was just such an easy read. The content was so good, and I found myself really wanting to finish the book off. So I was really reading it as quickly as I could when I got the chance. And that was really the reason why I gave it the rating of a 4 out of 5 for the overall feel of the book. And I think that's a fair assessment of the overall book. And that's how I arrived at the overall rating of 4 out of 5 for this Greenlights book by Matthew McConaughey. And that's that, guys. That's my first review of a book on the book club. All done and dusted. It was a really cool way to structure this video, and I was really enjoying the way I was able to actually share my opinions and my recommendation of the book. So I hope you guys have also enjoyed this new type of video. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. I want to also hear about what your comments are, what you guys are thinking, what you want to see going forward. Leave those in the comment section below. And as always, if you guys are enjoying the content and want to see more of this beautiful face, make sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. It was a pleasure having you, and cheers.